I haven't made a new video in quite a while. And the reason is that I've been working on a book. It's kind of a book of the highlights of my life, the really important things that has happened to me. And I finally turned that book over to the publishers this week, so I want to tell you a little bit about it. The name of it is Hellfire, Cool Water. It's about my life when I started out as a young boy. Well, really it starts out when I was a child, but as a young boy, when I was in church, I was taught about the hellfire and the chance of me ending up being punished eternally, forever, in fire and brimstone, if I didn't do certain things that, like accept Jesus as my Savior, and other things. And this frightened me beyond belief. I mean, I was really scared. I started having nightmares, and I had anxiety attacks, and it got to the point where I just couldn't listen to that anymore. So I talked my mother into finally allowing me to not go to church anymore, which she did, thank God. And so I didn't go to church for a number of years. I went on to high school and joined the Naval Reserve. And in the Naval Reserve, I tell them about my encounter with Hurricane Audrey, which was a Category 4 hurricane. And I was out in the middle of the Gulf down there on a destroyer escort when this hurricane hit us, and it was not fun. I thought then my life was over. But I did manage to survive that, and then it goes on to where I went back to college and I started learning about theology, because that still was really bothering me. Hellfire was. And so I went to college and talked about theology and learned about a little bit about how the Bible was formed, and I read the whole Bible all the way through, and I learned a lot more then, because I found some of the things I was taught in church just wasn't in the Bible, and that kind of surprised me. So then I owned my own business. I was able to buy the place I was working at from my boss. And later on, I had a heart problem. I was trying to work too much and go too on. And after I had this heart problem, I had what's called a near-death experience. I don't really think that's a good name for it, but anyway, that's what I had. And I stood in the presence of God, and I was totally surrounded by His love and His compassion. And I knew then that there was no hellfire waiting for me or anyone else out there. So I studied near-death experiences for a while, and in this book there is some experiences, and I got myself on the road to overcoming all of my fears, which I did. I write that experience was like cool water on a fevered brow, which was mine when I had that experience. It was a total waking up call for me. No longer fear death, no longer fear life or anything else, and I wish no one else did either. This book goes on and tells you about some methods, some affirmation and methods you can use to improve your life. And then at the end, it talks a little bit about other things about the spiritual world and stuff. So I just wanted you to know a little bit about it in case you would like to read it when it comes out. I imagine it'll be maybe even another month before it actually gets out. But anyway, I hope you will read it, and especially those of you who are still afraid of hellfire. I hope you're the ones that read it the most. And thank you for listening to me.